welcome to the Data Processing Center of the Electoral Commission. The Electoral Commission has prepared a series of training videos that aim to inform electoral staff on how to perform data entry and data processing tasks for the roll update exercise. These training videos will support Data Processing Center staff, including data processing officers, quality checkers, data coordinators, and Provincial Election Office staff to perform their roles in a diligent, accurate, and effective manner. In addition to viewing these training videos, the election staff are encouraged to review materials such as the training and procedure manuals and guidelines provided by the Electoral Commission to ensure they complete the tasks in accordance with the electoral laws and procedures. The first part of the training video aims to inform election staff about the functions of the Data Processing Center, roles and responsibilities of key staff, and key steps from receipt of roll update materials to the data entry and synchronization. The Data Processing Center is where data collected in wards during the voter roll update for the 2022 national election is entered into the Electoral Commission system. The data entered is taken from the enrolment materials included in the enrolment envelopes received from each ward. For each ward, there will be enrolment journal, forms envelope, working roll envelope. The enrolment journal is a tracking and reporting book. The purpose of the journal is for quality checks on data and materials sent or received at different levels. The forms envelope will contain the claim of enrolment forms, Form 11, which is the official form for enrolling new, transfer in, and provisional electors. And the working roll envelope will contain the working roll, in which voter details are amended if needed, and their status is updated, such as active, deceased, ghost, transferred out, underaged, duplicate. We will discuss these items in more detail in separate videos. At the Data Processing Center, there are a number of staff with different roles and responsibilities. This is a brief description of key roles, and you are encouraged to review the guidelines, procedures for further information. Election Manager is responsible for the overall electoral roll update process in his or her province. The Electoral Manager also serves as the Provincial Returning Officer for the roll update. Assistant Election Manager is responsible for coordination, monitoring, and quality control of the transfer of enrolment material and batches to and from the districts, LLGs, and wards in the province. Data ICT Coordinator is responsible for assisting with data quality checks, coordinating the data entry and processing operations, and providing IT support as needed. Data Processing Officer is responsible for entering data from the forms and working roles into the provincial application in the tablet. Quality Checker assists with quality control of enrolment materials and performs global roll lookup of Form 11s and transfer outs. The staff must perform their roles and responsibilities in accordance with electoral laws, the enrolment manual, and data processing procedures. There are a number of steps from when roll update materials are received in the Provincial Election Office to the moment of data entry and synchronization in the Data Processing Center. Step 1 is receipt and checking of materials. Batches received from the field containing the working roll envelope, forms envelope, and enrolment journal are received at the Provincial Election Office. The materials are checked to ensure they comply with the enrolment procedures. For example, the AEM or Quality Check Controllers confirms that the roll envelope contains the working roll for the correct ward. The form envelope contains the Form 11s for the correct ward with the correct serial numbers. If there are any issues, these are followed up with at the provincial level and resolved. Step 2 is quality check of envelope contents. Next, the quality checkers perform a quality check of the contents of the envelope. For example, they check that Form 11s are filled correctly, have all 3 declarations signed, have completed the mandatory fields, and verify that electors are at least 18 years of age by the date of issue of writ. They also ensure that working roll annotations are clear and initialed. If any of the forms or working roll is incorrect, the entire batch or envelope is set aside until the problems with the forms are resolved at the Provincial or Ward Enrolment Committee level. The forms and working rolls should not be split from the ward envelopes. If there are problems with the forms or working rolls, the entire batch is set aside. Step 3. Forms and working rolls are looked up and amended if needed. Before being processed for data entry, the quality checkers perform a roll lookup of the Form 11s to ensure these are processed in accordance with enrolment procedures. Step 4 is data entry by DPOs. After the forms and working rolls are reviewed and looked up for quality assurance purposes, the data processing officers enter the data into the provincial application. The data is entered for each ward and synchronized when the data entry for that ward is finished. Step 5. The election manager review and approval. After the data entry and synchronization is complete, the election manager will review the data entered and approve or reject the entries in accordance with the enrolment procedures. After the data is validated and approved, the output of the provincial application is the data to produce the preliminary voter roll. After the work of the Data Processing Centre is completed, PNG EC Headquarters conducts further integrity checks and produces the preliminary roll. In this video, we have covered in general the functioning of the data processing centres, the roles and responsibilities of key staff, and the key procedures and working steps. Please review the Enrolment Manual and Data Processing Centre guidelines for more details. Please also reach out to your data coordinator, assistant election manager, and election manager in case any clarification is needed. More information on each step is presented in other videos.